And welcome to this edition of Avatar Face to Face. My name is Jewel Kinch-Thomas, your host for today, and we want to thank you very much for joining us. We love to bring you all of the information about arts and culture throughout Westchester and beyond. And today, we'd like to welcome to the show a young lady who is a natural media collage artist, and also she is the owner of Recologie. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we meet Maria Cisneros.
Hello.
Maria, so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Jewel. Thanks for
Okay,
having me.
did I pronounce your name correctly?
Cisneros?
Cisneros.
Yes,
Oh,
very
okay.
good.
Don't want to give people the wrong
No, that's
information.
okay.
Okay. So you are an artist and you're a natural media artist. What does that mean?
Well, that basically means that I've always had this affinity to nature and color and texture, and even though I wasn't formally trained at it and never considered myself an artist per se because I couldn't really draw, what I did was try to come up with a combination of putting these things together that I could see the end product.
Okay.
And I started doing press flower pictures actually for wedding bouquets and wasn't happy with what I saw.
Okay.
It was just pretty straightforward. And then what I did was basically come up with the whole process myself, which included taking botanicals and semi-pressing them and putting them into collage, sometimes making my own paper. And I was very happy with the end product.
Okay. So in a very inventive process and this journey that you took to really create something that you felt would be long lasting.
Yes, and that was a big part of what it was. Press flower pictures, age. I was very much into preserving the whole art piece in
Okay.
every way.
Okay, wonderful. So you did that for weddings and
Right.
gifts and things of that nature.
I did.
And then you went into a studio?
I went into studio space. Yes,
Okay.
I did. I did a few bridal shows because I wanted to include the bridal community into it to preserve their bouquets. And then I went to a studio in the Media Left building in New Rochelle, which was
Right.
very, which is a great inventive type of place. And then I had my brides coming in there and doing that. The problem I had with that is that most brides wanted their bouquets back in one piece, handed, not really caring about the artistic process at all. So I ended up getting a freeze dryer, which was kind of a big mistake. But and what that did, that allowed me to actually put the whole bouquet in as one piece and then hand back as is.
Okay.
And most brides were happy with that, but I was not.
Okay. So you moved from creating these pressed natural media pieces into a very different business. And I want to find out what prompted that, or what was your
Right.
inspiration from moving from your individual art into a
Right.
very different business?
Well, I think it was basically that at the Media Left building, they made them into live work units, and we had to move out of the studios if we
Okay.
weren't buying them.
Okay.
And I missed it, but I thought it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it really did force me to take my work out to. I brought it back to my house, and then I needed a place for consultations for
Okay.
brides or in general to do consultations.
Okay.
So I found a little place there in Larchmont.
Okay. And we should say that the Media Loft that you're talking about is
Yes.
downtown New Rochelle.
Downtown New Rochelle,
Right.
definitely a great building
Yes,
that
I've
that was
seen that.
converted, so
Right.
it's wonderful. And at that point, I was doing consultations from there, and I decided to carry some of my friends' things that kind of fit into the natural green sort of materials that I was using as well. I was
Okay.
selling papers, and what happened with that is I noticed that I was getting a retail crowd in that started to come in and was very curious about some of the items that we were carrying.
Okay.
That being, some of the things that were products that were actually could be sold.
Okay. So was that at that point that Recologie came into being?
Yes.
All right. So,
Yes, by carrying other people's work, putting mine on the back burner a little bit,
Right.
and introducing more people and more products. And at that point, it just took off for me in many ways.
Okay.
I got that fire within me that I
Right.
needed to find more and more of what people were doing with repurposed products and things that were excess.
So we're talking about artists that they're recycling materials in creating this art, whether it be wearable art or home goods or jewelry.
Right.
So you've created a place for these artists to be able to showcase and to be able to sell items to the public. Right. So what was the philosophy then? What is the philosophy behind Recologie?
Well, it is basically to highlight local American artists using materials in other ways that are atypical, that you would not imagine, that might end up in landfills, might be from excess products and materials that would be thrown away. Global Fair Trade, which is supporting fair trade villages that they usually use materials that are indigenous to their country, and you get beautiful handmade products that you wouldn't see in every other department store. And
you know what? We need to show people a sample of what we're talking about here, because when I first saw them, I was so astounded. I said, wow, this is incredible what artists are able to do. So let's take a look at what we have here on the screen.
Sure. Well, that happens to be a brooch.
These are some of the jewelry items, right?
Some of the jewelry items, yes. And this one happens to be made from pull tabs from the tops of cans. That has been made into a brooch, functional, wearable art. Beautiful piece. Yeah, it looks really elegant on a, for an evening, on any time. Sure.
Let's see what else we have here.
Oh, that's like kind of a little funky little. Can you tell what that is?
Well, no. I mean, it's a gorgeous necklace. That's all I'm seeing right now.
No, it's actually a bracelet that's made from Coke cans, Coca-Cola cans.
Oh, wow.
So it's and it's a really fun piece. A lot of the all ages actually buy things like that, but it's something that is a labor of love that people collect the cans instead of putting them into something that they really can't see what happens to them. People are starting to use recycling, upcycling is the other word that's a little bit more recognizable now, and actually using them so that they can see.
This has almost a Native American or Asian look to it.
Yes, that is a statement choker. That's actually from an artist in India. And what she does is she takes decorative paper, and they have just excess paper that they have laying around, and then they roll them in certain designs and hand crochet them together. And it's a beautiful piece of artwork on a nice solid piece of
How innovative is that? And what are we looking at here?
That is a ring that's made out of zipper feet. So if you could see the center of it, you can tell that it's the feet of the zipper that's just coiled around, and it's very contemporary looking. But that's something that's very kind of contemporary in this whole line.
Beautiful pieces. My gosh, yes. So now you have a selection of artists that you work with, and how do you choose? What's the criteria for you to choose these artists?
Well, I think the whole mission, the core mission of this right now is to keep with sustainability, and that's pretty broad. That could be people that are making things out of materials that would end up in landfills, people that go around collecting things and sanitize them. It can also be just people using sustainable types of materials from nature, such as tagua nuts, and then agave fiber jewelry from the nectar plant. And there's a lot of, it's very broad. It's very broad, so that's how we pick our artists that are in there.
Your artists.
Yes.
And approximately how many artists do you represent now in the boutique?
Oh, boy. I would say close to 75, probably 85. Yeah, we have a small space, but everybody gets their own little story that goes along with their products.
And that's what's so beautiful about what you're doing, because there is a story behind each one of these pieces, and behind the originality of it, and behind the geographical location that it comes from. So it's so very important for folks to realize.
People put those two things together a lot. Especially when it's a story behind it, they feel like they're more connected to the piece, and they put more value to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
why would, okay, let me frame it this way. When people talk and think about sustainability, when they talk about environmental consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the times it's really about, their home. It's about the energy, or it's about, changing the light bulb,
Right.
or, different, or recycling their plastics and their
Mm-hmm.
bottles.
Right.
You've taken it, and the artists that you work with have taken it to another level altogether.
Yeah, I think this has been around for a while, but never really had a place that you could put it into. But I think
Okay.
people have been doing these things for a while. I think it's timely right now, and people are just looking at things differently. And
Right.
we're trying to do wearable art, but affordable as well.
Yes.
You know, a gallery is one thing, there's beautiful artwork there, but we want these pieces to go out into the world and to see what can be done and to support not just American artists and individual people, but
Right.
global artists as well, because there's so many things that they have to add to this whole mix.
Absolutely.
So we don't want to leave anybody out.
Okay.
And I think that's a very, very important mission and the core mission of this whole Recologie initiative.
And commendable, absolutely.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it's amazing what you've been able to pull together.
Right.
And I think the more people see these products and understand the value behind them and what they will be contributing to
Right.
Mother Earth and our
Exactly.
environment and the future of our environment, they will gravitate towards
Right.
these wearable art pieces and
It's a
home
win-win.
goods.
I
It
really think so.
absolutely
It's a
is
win-win.
for everybody.
Right.
For everybody. Let's take a look. We have a couple more photos
Sure.
of some handbags, I think, and some home goods
Okay.
that we can share.
That again is a pull tab bag,
Pull tab.
made from the pull tab collective in Brazil.
Right.
A different style, more elegant. Um, so I would say that's pretty much of a dressier piece.
Okay.
But we'll of course combine with a lot of different things, and you don't have to stick with just pull tabs alone. You can
Right.
mix your pull tabs in with your tagua nuts or into
Okay.
other things.
This is another pull tab
That
bag.
is another pull tab
Oh,
bag.
okay. Great.
Love the spiral new design that came out with that one.
Okay.
That's a
Oh.
plan. That's a headline handbag that can be customized.
Headlines, meaning
Many headlines. Newspapers.
Okay.
Yes, and they're definitely can do anything customized as
Right.
well. Any engagement things or like a grandma's photo bag, that
Right.
brag bag. And
Okay. All right.
and there's the fire hose messenger bag.
From fire hoses.
From Fire Hoses, and it's from
Amazing.
London, so that's why it might be red. We see a lot of yellow around here.
Right.
But
Right.
the red does significantly mean that it's from London.
Right.
And like I said, they do donate 50% to their fund
Okay.
that goes back to the Fireman Fund.
And this one, I was
Oh, I love this
intrigued by
one.
this one.
This whole line, yes, these are actual film reels or film strips.
Film strips.
Strips, yes, and some you don't know what's coming in. Sometimes they're things that you recognize, some things that they're not. But they have a whole belt line, wallets, shopping bags, messenger bags, and they're all made out of the 35 millimeter
Right.
films, and then they're hand crocheted, so they're pretty sturdy. We have photographers using them.
Okay.
So there's a really nice story behind that one as well.
And
This one is one of my dear friends from San Francisco who brings these yellow pages and comics and everything back to her when she goes back to her family in the Philippines, and
Okay.
she distributes them to different villages and has them done in 3 different villages. One
so this
woven.
is a clutch bag
This is a
that's
clutch
made
bag.
out of
This one happens
yellow
to
pages.
be yellow pages
Uh-huh.
with a jute lining and then a varnishing that she brings to 3 different villages to have them all done.
Wow.
So it does support a lot of the economy there.
Okay.
So,
Very important. Yes.
Very, and she'll
Yeah.
do special.
And what do we
things
have
as well.
here?
Oh, this is a great home good item. And what it is those are actually skis that have been discarded and made into wine bottle holders. And that
That's
company
amazing.
does actual furniture with it too.
Wow.
Golf club
Okay.
chairs and rockers and children's rockers.
And this looks to be a clock of some kind.
That is a sprocket clock that is made from bike gear. as well.
All right. And we're going to be seeing some more of bike gear.
Bike
And,
gear.
okay. And this, a plant growing out of a bottle, it would seem.
It is. This is a grow bottle that come with kits of different herbs,
Okay.
chives, oregano, as many things as you want. And you can actually grow it inside of your home, which is
Okay.
great for apartment dwellers.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's really fantastic about all of this stuff is that it's about lifestyle.
It definitely is.
You have a phrase that is eco-forward lifestyle,
Right.
which I think is just
Yeah.
so key.
It's all encompassing, I think. Yes, eco-forward lifestyle means that it just goes beyond the plastic and
Right.
it goes beyond the things that we typically connect to recycling. And
Okay.
what this does is really bring high fashion, into it, trends. I mean, these things are on the runway.
Right.
And they're not going to be looking at things. So the general public will be changing because it's so timely. And when people come into our shop, they always say it's like a museum shop. It
Right,
really,
right.
really has to be, each piece has to be really appreciated.
Okay.
So that's the goal, actually.
Yeah.
It really is.
We don't have a lot more time, so I just
Sure.
want to touch very quickly on your custom plantable items.
Right.
Which I know we're going to see something when we have a display that we're going to share with folks in
Great.
just a moment.
Great.
But you do have a whole line of invitations. And
announcements, greeting cards.
Right.
As well as some things that do have plantable boxes and labels.
Okay.
But that is an up-and-coming thing for any green-minded, eco-conscious person
Right.
planning events, that these things will absolutely, you can print anything you'd like on them, and then they will grow, usually North American wildflower gardens, so that it's something that people can always remember the event for.
That is incredible
Yeah,
that you
it's
could
great for
take an
brides.
invitation
Yep.
and cut it up and plant it and actually have something, grow from
right.
that.
The memory.
The memory is there
Right.
forever and
Right.
always. Fantastic. Well, this is something that I hope people will, take a moment to really investigate and look at. They can go to your website.
Right.
Tell us what that is, please.
It's Recologie.com.
Recologie. Spell that for folks.
It's RECOLOGIE.
Okay.
Not with a Y.
Okay.
.com.
Okay.
And right now it's not, anything e-commerce. You can get information on it, but we are working on it to place orders. But right now what it is just an informational site that you
Right.
can see what we have to offer.
Okay.
And, the next step is hopefully a great one.
Okay, Maria, we have an amazing assortment here of wearable art and home goods that you've brought with you that we want to share with our audience. So why don't we start over here and you tell us exactly what we have.
Okay, we will start here with an accessory line. And this is actually made from fire hoses.
Fire hoses.
Fire hoses,
Wow.
and we have totes from them. This is a beautiful messenger bag,
Okay.
very heavy duty and waterproof.
Okay.
And this is a belt as well.
Matching
and
belt?
Matching belt as
Okay.
well. This comes in from a London company, and they donate 50% of every sale to the Fireman's Fund. So this has got a
Fantastic.
fantastic story behind it.
Okay. And right over here, I see we have some, what are these, tabs?
These are pull tabs on the from the tops of cans, actually.
Oh, okay.
And this was a mission from a designer in San Francisco who believed in going to Brazil and giving the village women there fair trade jobs and wages by picking up the pull tabs that were around not being used, and what they do is they sterilize it, file them down, and they
Right.
make beautiful handmade pieces. Each one is done individually.
Wow.
A lot of labor that is included into these pieces, and we have many things that are that fit into this category. We have a lot of belts, we have jewelry, chokers, clutch bags, and this beautiful evening bag that can be worn to any occasion, especially black tie. We've had a lot of people buying black tie,
This
them for
is-
black tie things.
This is truly amazing. Imagine how many times you've pulled one of these off a can and just thrown it in the garbage.
Right.
And look at
Right.
all of the wearable art that this artist has created.
Right, the creative minds behind
Oh,
them.
incredible.
And that's really a great statement
Okay,
for
so
that.
tell us about this bag right here.
This bag is actually made from headline newspapers. And what this company does is they'll take,
Show it.
yes, and there's many different, they have a lot of different designs as well. But you can actually make a custom bag by just handing in one part of the newspaper that you might like, or a heading, or what for a wedding that you might have that's dated.
Okay.
And they will make bags out of them that are really heavy duty. They'll make totes. It can be a fashion themed bag. It can
Okay.
be something that's, you know, more, a little bit more that's personalized, is customized as well.
These are just terrific. Now we've got a whole jewelry section right here.
Right.
Let's just quickly tell folks what some of these are made of.
Okay. Well, the first one we have here is a line that's made from guitar strings that are left over.
Okay.
And these are just
So don't
regular
throw away
ways.
your
Don't
old
throw away the guitar
guitars.
beads. The guitar strings. Definitely, people do things with them and make really beautiful custom pieces.
Right.
Then we move over here to, these are pistachio shells.
Wow.
And actually collared beans mixed with fabric, and these come from from Mexico.
Okay.
And they're done in a village, so that really does again get, you know, highlight the fair trade
Okay.
end of what we're doing here.
And how about this one right here? What's this?
That one there is actual newspapers that have been rolled and made into beads and plant-based dyed and use metallics over them, and they're very, very lightweight. And I have some on
You have
me.
one on, yes.
They're very colorful. You can have them, you know, any way you want.
Right.
The designer will do custom work as well. It can be very neutral colors, but I would say that this line here is very bold statement pieces and
Right.
are just beautiful. And
Excellent. I mean,
the
can
watch as well,
accessorize,
everything.
yes, an
Yes,
outfit
they can do
beautifully.
everything.
Now, I see something down here on this first round that reminds me of some of the comic books I used to read as a kid.
Probably is.
Okay.
Probably is. That is a line that takes comics, and they specialize in superheroes as well, but do a lot of Archie comics.
Okay.
And they have a lot of jewelry as well as handbags that they do, and they use the actual comics that are from, they date each one.
Right.
And then what they'll do is turn them into wearable art.
Wow. So inventive. That is really, really wonderful. And then we have these last two pieces here. If you quickly
Those two
tell
pieces
us.
over here, these are made from the tagua nut, and the tagua nut falls from the palm tree.
Okay.
And they're from Ecuador. And what happens with those is they're trying to use that material in lieu of elephant ivory. So it tries to save the elephants a little bit.
Okay.
Has the same properties, but a lot lighter.
Okay.
And so that's being something that's definitely forward thinking as well.
Yes, and we have here
You
something
have
very
those.
familiar for
Familiar
some of us.
for some of us,
yes.
not for all of us.
And this is a clock.
This is a clock. This is a 45, clock that actually they will take the original clock, so it has to be scratched in some way so it's not playable again. So
Okay.
for some people that are stereophiles really get upset about that, but they take it and they use it as a clock, and
Right.
it comes with a battery in the back, and they have a whole line of coasters, puzzles, and everything that they're making out of actual clocks and vinyls.
Terrific, terrific. Let's move on down here. We have a couple more bags. This one looks like comics again, yes?
It's comics again.
Okay.
Can be
all
done
right.
in yellow pages, directories, anything that you would like. This is one of the designs. This person, one of my dear designers, actually does a lot of different bags, tote bags as well. So
Okay. Matches the bracelet very
matches,
lovely.
yes, it does. A lot of
okay.
paper material there.
And this beautiful piece, I mean, look at this. What is this made of?
Those are candy wrappers.
Oh.
Those are candy wrappers that, just it's enough said. You look at it and you know exactly what it
Wow.
is. It's very functional. They're all
And
hand
very
woven.
funky. And yes.
Colorful.
And that's a story right there.
That's a
Every time you
story.
walk down the street with it.
Exactly. A lot of
Okay.
attention. Yes.
All right, so we have a couple of home goods right here.
Right.
Tell us about this candle.
Oh, this candle is a great line. It's a soy-based candle. When you light it, you can actually use the puddle for body butter. And it comes in many fragrances, but the thing that's wonderful about this product is that the actual box itself is planted and seed embedded with the actual fragrance of the seeds of what the fragrance is. So if this one happens to be tomato vine,
Okay.
and you can smell, it smells like a fresh garden. And what
Wow.
happens in that is after you use the candle up, you can actually plant the box.
Plant the box.
Yes, and it does grow whatever the fragrance is.
Oh my gracious! So I'm getting.
So-
I plant the box and I get.
You'll get a wild tomato vine that will absolutely
That's
grow
amazing.
tomatoes. Yes,
That is amazing. Wow. Okay. And it smells great.
Doesn't it?
It smells beautiful. Okay. So now this is a grow bottle. What is a
Right.
grow bottle?
A grow bottle was originally a wine bottle in its former life, and now it's a kit that they have inverted. Kind of made the ends just enough to hold the kit together. And it's a kit that grows different herbs. So we have different ones that they do come up with different herbs, but this one happens to be chives.
And that's what I see in here.
A chive kit.
Okay.
But you can change it over to oregano or anything you'd like. And you can always have it on the windowsill year round.
Okay. And
So-
have the herbs for my kitchen.
For the kitchen.
Without even talking
Right.
about it. Okay, we have a couple other
Sure.
things quickly before we go. We've got, this looks like something on my bicycle.
It probably was. I don't know about yours,
Okay.
but it definitely is made from bicycle chain.
Right.
And there's many things that this company does as far as besides just home goods. They have clocks that they do, candle holders, bottle openers. The whole theme with this is using bike gear
Right.
in other ways, so it's not discarded and ending up in a landfill.
Landfill. That's right. Fantastic. And
Same
what do we
thing
have
with
right
that.
here?
That was a wine bottle.
Okay.
That is now
You can
turned
yes.
into a beautiful serving tray.
Okay.
You can put olive oil in it. Use it for this happens to be a serving tray, but they do cheese platters as well, and a lot
I
of
see
other
here
things.
it says dill dip.
Right.
So you have your dill, and you
have
have
a
this
dill.
beautiful spoon with
Right.
these
beads.
beads on it. Fantastic. And our final object here,
That
beautiful
is
basket.
a beautiful basket, handmade from South Africa.
Wow.
So it took a while to do that. But
Okay. Fantastic. This is amazing.
pretty amazing.
Thank you so much for bringing
You're
all of
welcome.
this to us today. Okay.
My pleasure.
We want to thank you so much for being with us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you
And
so much. I appreciate
again,
it.
congratulations on such a fantastic wearable art store and all the work that you're doing with these artists. We wish you all the success in the world with that.
Thank
And we want to
you.
thank everyone for being with us today. So we will see you again on Avitar Face to Face.